So hi, everybody. I know a handful of you, so it's nice to see some familiar faces. I'm with Hello. Agency of 10. Like all of you, right? Our world was turned upside down a few weeks ago, and we now find ourselves doing everything that we can to sort of stay afloat. I'm in the industry that when times are tough, pandemic or not, marketing is always the first thing that gets cut. Ways to stay afloat, keep our employees employed, and then really help our clients. A lot of people want to move to just sort of like going dark or turning off until this is and that's actually not the appropriate step for marketers to take. Although that being said, it is not business as usual, right? We can't continue to be self-serving. We can't tout the same marketing messages that we have done before. We have to find ways to connect, be relevant, and be useful. And first and foremost, we all have to err on the side of humanity. So, whoever that was, if you just want to mute yourself, and then if you have something to say, you can unmute it, then we don't have to hear that. But marketers don't have to go dark. We all have to find ways where we can genuinely add value and where we can help. And there is a role for all brands and organizations in these current unheard of, uncharted times. And those are the brands that are going to be remembered when we do get through this, and we will get through this. We'll get through it together, but those are the brands that are going to come out of this and that are going to be rewarded by their consumers, by their audiences, for finding those ways to stay relevant and add value. And that's sort of what I wanted sort of this time. We didn't have a formal presentation for you guys, but I wanted to hear, one of the things that we've been doing is really offering pro bono services to a lot of organizations out there that are getting hit hard, and helping them think through, what is that pivot look like? How can they be of value? How can they help? How can they adjust their messaging? And wanted to sort of use this time to hear some of the challenges that you guys are facing, and how can we ideate together, and where's that way that you can add value. Just to give a couple examples. Museums really have done a nice job with this of recognizing that parents are now home educators, right? And I'm sure many of you, like myself, have kids at home, and we're like, oh my God, there's a reason why I'm not a teacher. And teachers now, we all know, don't make nearly enough. But finding those ways, right? Finding those ways of how we can keep them occupied, and versus just being, at least my kids are like, love this stupid game Roblox, and putting them in front of Roblox 24/7. But museums have done a great job of creating not only virtual tours, but lesson plans. And it doesn't just have to be, you might think, well, a museum, that's pretty obvious. Those are obvious ways that they can help them. Sure Tape is one of our clients, right? It's tape, right? Duct tape, T-Rex, they're all the same. And we've completely shifted their marketing strategy of taking it from museums and thinking through, okay, there are crafts, there are things that we can do at home, recognizing that people are probably doing more home projects, and providing those free resources. Again, not being self-serving, but trying to find, how can we add genuine value to this? How can we help parents? How can we help consumers? How can we help seniors? How can we help our audience? And not in a way that focuses on us and our business, but how can we really help?
Call from Copy Design B.
So with that being said, I would love to hear from you guys. Tell me about some of your, I know some of you, and I know some of the businesses you're in, but what are some of the marketing challenges that you guys are facing? What are some of the to my business, and how can we help our audience?
Michelle, if I could start, I had one of our members call, they sell jewelry, and they wanted to do a 20% to the local food bank. And I haven't responded yet. Obviously, in a other world, I think that would be lovely. but I just don't know if that is appropriate right now. I mean, obviously giving to the, I don't know about tying it in with a purchase.
Yeah, it's all in the way that you message that, right? Like, I think trying to help our fellow neighbors and helping those that need it most is, I commend that. And I think brands that are finding creative ways that they can help, way that's not being, I don't mean to keep saying this over and over again, but not being self-serving, that's key here. Anybody that tries to look like they're profiting from this current pandemic, I mean, those are the ones that are really going to fail and fail miserably. But if there's, I think that that's okay for that local jeweler to do that. But again, it's the way in which they share it and the way in which they message it. And there are going to be some key times coming up, right? Like, there is going to be Easter coming up. There's going to be Mother's Day coming up. There are going to be, so it may not be the most top of mind for everybody out there, because jewelry right now, you know, some people are losing their jobs. Some people had to just lay off their entire team. Some people close up their business altogether. So jewelry is not top of mind. But for a fraction of the audience, there are going to be you know, things that are coming up, or maybe they might want to consider, and they do want to support local. And if it's a step between that versus getting something at Nordstrom, I'm probably going to pick local. Plus, if I know that I'm gonna help a local food bank. So I do think that's okay, but I think it's how you message it. It has to be on that, again, erring on the side of humanity. It can't look like they're profiting from it, but helping for sure. You know, one of our clients, they make organic tampons. They're out of Connecticut, and they're donating pretty much the majority of their inventory right now to help others, and we're helping them share that message so that at least you can feel good about a brand that you're supporting is you know, those that don't have access to products that, you know, all women need, you know, on a regular basis. So I think the long answer is yes, you can do that. It's just the way in which it's delivered.
Pam, do you want to ask your question? So Pam's got a question in the chat. Michelle, if you can.
Oh, I see that. Yep, I just opened up the chat and I see it. So the question is there the issue of breaking the law of only essential businesses can operate? So I am not equipped to answer that. That is outside of my area of expertise as to what's essential, what's non-essential. I do know that there's that businesses are finding ways to be creative in terms of not having a storefront open and of doing things through mail. So I have heard from others that there's, as long as the storefront's not open and you're, you know, following the other guidelines put in place, but that is not my area of expertise. So I don't not comfortable addressing. To the same conferences at 2:30 that you guys are, but as long as storefronts aren't open and they're finding ways to deliver or have pick up outside, those seem to be okay. Help. They're not a client of ours, and they're like, look, like, we understand that there's urgent things in the world right now, and women coloring their hair is not one of them, but I'm concerned about how can I stay afloat and not lay off my employees. So how could we potentially stay open or help during this time without having to lay off? And, you know, we suggested to her, again, with a huge asterisk, look, we're not, I don't know what your industry has in terms of guidelines and if you're legally allowed to do this, but why not, you know, pre-make color and provide online tutorials and deliver that, right? Leave that in your consumers' mailbox. And that's a way that you could at least pay your employees something. Necessarily having people coming inside and you're still adhering to the new protocols put in place.
So for those of you who don't know me, we run a small nonprofit. We're in year 3. We provide mental health services through animals on a farm in Bainbridge. So we have closed the farm to the public just to try to keep everybody safe, but we are looking at ways to reach out connection to people because mental health is deemed essential and people are really struggling, including our clients and maybe other people in the community. So I'm looking for some ideas from you, Michelle, on good ways to get the information out if we start creating some online content. Like we yesterday went and videotaped working with some horses in our round pen. It's a space that we can use to help people learn how to regulate their emotions. So we did a little video, like probably 20 minutes, and we're going to put it up on Facebook that shows like how, so people can watch the horses move and kind of breathe with them and do some stuff. We're thinking about creating like an online environment where people can check in, like a women's group, and chat and do like what we're doing with Zoom. So I'm looking for some ideas on platforms or ways to announce that we're doing this, because these would be new services that we're bringing online. We're also looking at therapy, which we can now do with 3 of our social workers. How do we get to people who might need those services in this environment most effectively?
Yeah, so Melissa, I commend you. I think you're providing such a great service, and COVID or not, right? Mental health is serious and something that addressing and talking about on a daily basis, but especially now more than ever when people are more anxious and anxiety levels are on the rise, and those who need care aren't necessarily being able to get care right now. So you have an opportunity to provide a really valuable service that a lot of people need. I think a lot of things that you just said, I would wholeheartedly do. Online social media is going to be your best friend right now. And tools. So Facebook Live, I will start hosting Facebook Lives every day. Crowdsource, right? Put out to your community and crowdsource. What are the things that you guys want to talk about? And then have that be your topic for the next day. Create private groups. Facebook does allow you to create private groups within your page. So you can do that. Great. It's free. So the free Zoom is fantastic. The only thing, it will cut you off after 40 minutes. You can buy Zoom and it's $140 for the year, and then you have unlimited time. So it may be worth investing that, so you don't have to stop talking after 40 minutes. But I would organize those Zoom chats and then continue to put out daily content of tips and things, of ways that people can communicate, deal with this at home, talk, bring to life what you're doing at the farm. So you may be temporarily shut, but there's still work that's happening there. Bring that. You're a resource, your 3 social workers are resources, and open them up and help people. It doesn't have to be pretty. Don't think that you've got to produce great photos or great video right now, right? Nothing has to be pretty right now. Speed is key right here. Accurate, but not producing something great or investing a lot of money or investing a lot of time. But you have access to experts. There's a whole community that needs and wants to hear that right now. So you can actually provide a really great resource. And then I would use the media. There's a lot of media that's shifting. It is outside of the daily virus and the death toll and the numbers and the shutdowns. They are starting to pivot towards other COVID news. So I think you've got a really great story, and you've got resources. We work with the media a ton, and we know that they're constantly saying, hey, I need a resource in this. So you can be very proactive right now and say, hey, if you're doing stories on X, Y, and Z, we can help. Here's our experts. Here's their background. Here's their credential. They're hungry for this. They're looking for this. So you're actually in a really good spot where you can be super, when we talk about adding that value and being real and helping, you're actually in a really nice spot, Melissa, where you can do all of that.
I have a question, Michelle, and I know that we're going to meet on Monday, but I may as well ask it live now. And for those of you who don't, I'm Ingrid Porter, and I am an interior designer in Chagrin Falls. And my question revolves around interior design is considered a luxury right now and always. So how do I move forward in a compassionate way and stay in business, helping people? And I'm going to talk a little bit about it on Monday with the chamber, but we're all at home right now. And for some of us who are introverts, this is awesome. But for people who are extroverts, who are homeschooling, running businesses from home, having to work from home, what kind of value can I add to people to be a resource right now? That's my question.
Yeah. So, hi Ingrid, I know we've been emailing, so it's nice to put a face to the name, and it's nice
It's good to meet
you. Yeah, and I know we'll chat more next week. So the key, you said it early on, we all have to realize that we're probably, it's paused on, for most of us, especially in the service industry, of earning new clients right now. And I mean, we're seeing it as well. Like we've lost a handful of clients. I know that my business isn't going to grow right now. So, and there's a lot that I can't control. The brands that have that kind of mentality, and I don't mean to keep saying this, but it's so important, err on the side of humanity, are the ones who are going to come through this, and the ones that consumers are going to remember and support. So Ingrid, we're all home. I actually love my home a lot more now than we did a couple years ago, because she helped us redo it a couple years ago, and so I'm very thankful for that. But I think that you're providing a service, right? You can open up and just provide, like, look, here's how to, kind of create your own space at home. Here's home, you and your significant other may be home, your kids are home. So what does that look like? And helping people think through kind of making their own makeshift space at home. We have a lot of clients in home improvement, and we are seeing an increase of people who are tackling some small projects, kind of that list of one day I'm going to get to this. Well, they are, now they're finding themselves getting to that. So maybe you can provide some free, consultations, right? Again, using Facebook Live, using Instagram, and I'm home. Again, recognizing that you're not going to profit from it now, but you can get your name out there and you can help. Like, right, let's have a Zoom, walk me around your house, show me your house. Let's talk about what you're doing, and I can give you some ideas of some things that I can do now, consultation and being that resource. They'll remember you when we come through this on the other side. But I think people are looking at some small things that they can do in their home right now. They are thinking about, and seeing, oh my God, my kids are so messy. These spaces are so messy. How can I organize? How can I the things that we can do right now? And you've got those tips, right? You've got things that people that may not have thought about, or things that you can do. Maybe you have access to knowing some organizations. So if people are doing some spring cleaning and getting rid of things in their home, or want to get rid of stuff, who are those organizations right now that need what they're getting rid of? And you can kind of be that in between that helps, like, connect that and like upcycle those kind of things. But I think being a resource and providing that expert content that normally we know that you would charge for, and just forgetting that right now, and sharing those tips, or even proactively, right, using your social channels, and saying, hey, here's what I'm doing at home. Here's how I've made my home office. Here's my space. Here's some things that you might want to consider, and providing sort of those daily tips.
Awesome. Thank you. I know I have one other really quick question. In-home consultation services, I have the capability. I do virtual design. Am I going to want to advertise that now, or no? Is that, like, not really your thoughts?
No, I would probably not advertise that right now. But I think you can get that message out without hitting them over the head of getting that message out, by doing some of the things that we had just talked about.
Right.
People will know, right, that if they want to.
That's what I thought. It didn't feel right. It doesn't feel right. I see people doing it. I follow a bunch of designers, and I see people across the country doing it, and I'm kind of like, I'd rather do the free things and go that route, because I am busy right now. So, but yeah, thank you. I appreciate your help.
Yeah, and then even like clients that you haven't talked to in a long time, reaching out, like, hey, I'm just checking on you, seeing how you're doing. Not that you're trying to get a new project out of them, but just now, like, just reconnecting, like taking some of that downtime and, sending some cards, sending some letters, and hey, because we all are in this together. sort of that connection. Like those simple things will go a long way. But I think anything in general, if it makes you pause, don't do it, because it's probably the wrong thing to do. So it's good that you stop and you're like, this doesn't feel right, because it's probably not right.
Right. Yeah. If anybody needs any tip, I see people on here I know available to help. So for free. Thank you.
Anybody else have any challenges or questions or things they're thinking about doing?
No, I was just going to say, though, I do think that the public everywhere is craving content that's useful, positive, a diversion from all the barrage of the COVID-19. I think there is an opportunity to people like Ingrid or us at Clemens Pentuso or other businesses to provide free content that is just either fun or informative, 10, 15 seconds on how to, fluff your sofa, or, Ingrid, I was thinking you and I could do something. We could do like how to feng shui your desk,
Yeah,
and you talk me
that's a great
through it,
thought.
I do it. And it's, 10 minutes of, it seems trivial, but I also think that people are craving something to watch that's not about what is on the back of all of our minds, not even on the back, on the front of all of our minds.
Right. I 100% agree with that. And especially, I mean, we're in general a very digitally connected society. But a study came out last week that today more than ever, we are relying on social media in ways that we never have before to stay connected. And it doesn't all have to be. And a lot of us want to break from, all things COVID. So again, it's kind of going back. Can I share something that adds value? Can I, create a lesson plan? You're all experts in some kind of field. So more of what we're doing now of sharing that expertise and thinking about communicating what we do in ways that we never thought possible. All of those sort of blue sky ideas that you may have had before and weren't sure if they were right. Now's the time to kind of revisit those, and they may be right for now. Not forever, but it is definitely, our new norm.
Ingrid, you have so many adults in your house right now with everybody being home. It would be a cute little video of you designing an office space for each one of for your husband and for one of the, for the boys too, like a funny little, oh crap, this is mom's desk. I gotta get my space. And then you'd be able to show, 3 or 4 different looks of how to make your office.
That's a cute idea. I'm going to take you up on that, because Bill was home the other day in the dining room. Emma's home from college. She's trying to take class. Billy's home from college. He's trying to take class. Sarah's home from high school. She's trying to take class. And I'm in my world headquarters here, right? And Bill came in and was using the dining room table, and he's so loud. So we thought that maybe he could be out in the garage. So I might have to do a funny little thing on getting that ping pong table out and he's out, with the heater, of course. I wouldn't want to freeze. So.
Well, and even Ingrid, beyond the garage, right? The warm, getting your outside is going to be another space, our porch, our backyard. Tips on getting that ready. That can be another space that we want to utilize. Mm-hmm. And then even when, as you're outside, things that you're doing, or for all of us as business owners, sort of clear our mind, or we all have to be socially distant, but that doesn't mean but we're all still encouraged to go outside. So sharing where we're taking walks, sharing where, things that we're exploring, those are all things that make great content as well. And how we're connecting to others, socially distant doesn't have to mean emotionally distant. And I think for brands to kind of put a face to that, and here's how, my family's coping, here's what we're doing, here's how we're reaching out to those that we can't see, here's ways that we're finding to be creative. So it doesn't just necessarily have to be about the content, doesn't have to people as well. That's one of the things I love most about small businesses and being local is that you do know the people behind it, right? Like that's why we all choose to have a small business and why we all choose to sort of, live where we live. So sort of giving that peek behind the curtain and bringing to light what we're all doing as individuals and what our employees are doing. Those are all things that are fair game and makes great content as well, and that'll resonate really well with people.
Well, folks, I think, Michelle, I think we're good. Michelle's going to record this, so we will send it out. And then in that email, Michelle, is it okay if I add your contact information if anybody wants to reach out to you?
Yeah, please. I mean, we literally are all in this together, and we'll all come through it together. Anything that we can do to help, if you guys want some additional ideas or, I mean, you know, no cost, no strings. We're just doing whatever we all can to help each other out. So happy to help in any way we can.
Well, you're awesome. I appreciate it. I think it was 3 seconds after I emailed Michelle and said, will you do a Zoom, that I got absolutely. So thank you so much for, and we'll bring you back because I don't think this is going to go away tomorrow. Let's just put it that way. I'm not going to put a time limit on it, but it's not going to be tomorrow. So maybe we can have Michelle come back and share some other tips for us. So thank you all very much. And I hope that you guys all stay well and wash your hands, and for God's sake, stay home. unless you're going to move Val to pick up your food, and then you're cool. All right, all. Thank you so much. Thanks,
Be well,
Michelle.
guys. Thanks.